السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Now, the microphone is for Anne to introduce the subject and remind us what we have done last week and introduce the subject that we are going to read.
Inshallah. Okay, so
Thank you.
last week, thank you. Last week we looked at the second flash of the 22nd word. And the focus was to look at the examples of signs. So my notes show that the stamps or seals are signs of our maker, and they are everywhere to be seen. For example, he makes, quote, he makes everything out of one thing and makes one thing out of everything, end quote. Another sign is, for example, this is my note, so this was not exactly in the text, but so this is an example of makes everything out of one thing and makes one thing out of everything. So for example, because I love cats, I'm going to use that as my example. Here's a cat, and one cat is like the millions of others. This is human perception. Therefore, they're all the same. So I'm familiar with all of them. I see them all the same. I don't see their individual amazingness, and therefore I do not see them as each unique and wonderful creatures of God. Which Brother Ali mentioned last week that Nursi believes that familiarity is an enemy. And that we shouldn't get too familiar with particularity of one being and thinking, oh, they're all the same, therefore I'm familiar with them, and we lose our sense of wonderment. Another sign is that a human being is a miniature sample of the universe, a fruit of the tree of creation. That's where we left off, and there was we would have kept talking on this, but we ran out of time, which I raised the question of that if a man is a fruit of the tree of creation, then we have a lot of bad apples. And it brought me to thinking about the nature of justice. That when you want to bring justice to those individuals that are the bad apples, in this life, for me anyway, that would give me a great sense of satisfaction. So I know that justice will be seen in the hereafter, but there's a great deal for me to be said of seeing justice in the current life. And I'll just reference I'm just going to reference the example of Trump yesterday finally getting the fine he deserved. I think many people were happy with that. So anyway, that's where we left off.
Thank you. We have quite a number of bad apples.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I think you also remember, I believe we gave the example of a school where the students are free to learn or not to learn. If there were bad apples among the students who don't really want to learn, develop their human qualities, which is, as you emphasized, that every human being is a miniature sample of the universe, so valuable because we are given the senses that we can communicate with the rest of the universe comfortably and understand the meaning in their existence, communicate with them, learn with them, who their source of existence is. But if someone doesn't want to develop it, that is his free choice. So human beings entertain, enjoy their human existence or their existence in the form of a human being, so that only through having a free will. If I didn't have a free will, I wouldn't really recognize what values, virtues I have, because I would be existing as like a tree or another animal. Even the animals have some sort of free will, although it seems to be limited within their capacity. As being a cat or as being a dog, they have different limitations, but these limitations provide them only to fulfill the purpose of their existence in this world. Whereas the purpose of the existence of the human beings is really so great, is vast and large, encompassing the whole universe. So I should have really a freedom which has no bound as far as a created being can have the freedom to act in this world. So freedom is the, if you like, magical tool or magical stuff in human existence, so that I will entertain being a human being within my capacity, and I will use it as much as I can and as much as I prefer. In fact, not I can. My capacity allows me to develop, to improve it universe-wise and understand what the reality of the existence of the whole universe is all about. I have been given this quality, but if I have not been given the freedom of choice, human free will, I would have no virtue of myself. Everything will belong to the Creator. But in my relationship, in a conscious relationship with my Creator, because I have consciousness uh, given to me already, in my relationship with this, through this consciousness with my Creator, so I will acknowledge it and gain my honor as a human being. Look, I acknowledge you all my Creator. So I want to be, I want to really receive all your manifestations of all your divine qualities. So I will deserve it, like the students who study and learn, get the degree, those bad apples don't get. So if we hope or wish that there was no bad apple, what does it mean? I am wishing that I didn't have any free will. If I didn't have any free will, I cannot really develop my relationship with my creator being as a conscious being. Uh, so I will be as valuable as my creator has created me, but I wouldn't have any improvement as a result of my own effort to recognize who my creator is. I think human beings are given this sense of not only liking, but loving to improve their capacity, that their potentials that we discussed last week, as far as I remember, the baby demonstrates this innate desire to improve their human capacity by trying to crawl, trying to walk, trying to stand up, trying to learn how to feed themselves. Although the family badly and mostly and badly, they don't want them to feed themselves, but they want help. We cannot say that they are learning it from their environment, just against the influence of the environment, they act according to their innate code, if you like, innate creation. So these people say we are learning from environment. No, no, just opposite environment. I am reacting. The baby is always react the restrictions that their parents want to put on them. From there, we understand that it is very human reality to make progress in their uh, in the attempt in their endeavor to transform their potential into practical capacity. That is what we are here for in this world, learning, training through various means provided by us. Of course, we have to understand at the same time that we choose, but we cannot create the result. So I cannot say that all the virtues I developed uh, belongs to me and I gave existence to them. No, I didn't give existence to them. I asked my creator to give existence to what I have been choosing or what I have chosen in my life. So this really problem uh, it can be solved easily. Why there are some undesired, disliked events created in this world, especially caused by human choices. If there is, and if we really appreciate the value of freedom of choice, we have to have two options. I feel this is a very essential subject that um, I think throughout history, those people, intellectual people, using their mind properly and trying to understand what the reality of uh, the existence of this world, and especially the reality of existence of human beings, they tried their best to interpret it. And when they come across with the human, if you like, and misuse of their free will, they got stuck. They couldn't understand why the Creator gave this option to human beings, that we can do a lot of damage or harm to other creatures, especially to other human beings. So which kind of creator is it? And also the creator also creates something that we don't like. And what is the point in creating something that we don't like, although he created the sense of dislike within us? This problem remained all throughout the human history, uh, because human beings couldn't solve it. With the help of the Creator sending the guidance through the prophets, through those employed people, to come on, transfer this information from me to other human beings. Of course, these people must be chosen for some reasons that they are eligible to do this job. Of course, this is the choice of the Creator. So they distribute it, they really deliver the message of our Creator, and we look at it and we get the guidance and we solve it. And oh, that is the only way to make progress and get ready for the next creation, so that we will be treated according to the degree, according to the level of our graduation degrees from this world. That makes sense, but we should keep this subject repeated and repeated always, because we need to remember, because anytime something happens in this world, in our life, that we don't like it, we got disappointed. So, for example, just last night, a friend of mine uh, called me and wanted to discuss this matter. Although I am surprised to tell you this, he has written a perfect, not only several articles on this subject, and these articles are published. So he is expected to have solved this problem, but unfortunately, when his brother had an somehow nowadays incurable disease because of the apparently a maltreatment by his friends or close relatives, very close relatives. And as a result of the stress that he suffered from this and developed this incurable sickness, he got very disappointed with this result when they discovered that his brother is suffering from this. He said, how I can't understand how a man can do this, and how God creates a man can act this much cruelly, also that the other person causes the suffering, something like lifelong suffering of another innocent person. And he found himself in unsolvable position. And we had a good discussion, alhamdulillah, about it. So this is really, really a serious subject. And we should not shy away from discussing this matter. And I know I keep repeating this subject. Always, it seems to me, that's what I believe, we have to appreciate the value of freedom of choice given to us, free will. And whatever happens in the world, in the creation out there, or in the relationship within our social life and with other people, of course, as an extension of social life, I have to keep remembering that everybody is free to choose. And in order to choose, in order to be able to choose for human free will, there must be two options, and this two option has no limitations. For example, I can say that we are going to read now about this subject. I can say there must be a creator of the universe. Or alternatively, I can say every particle of the universe has a divine quality. I mean, matter. I can claim that matter, just blind, dead matter, can develop a divine absolute quality to know the universe. These two diametrically contradicting ideas can be chosen by human beings. So I only can say our Creator is so merciful that he left us entertain our freedom and accordingly get ready for the end of our training, education place in this world. So everyone will get exactly what they have chosen, apart from God's mercy as an extension of the reward that we deserve, according to our intentions and plus acting as a result of our choice. How we act, not on our intention. Of course, it is not our subject to go into details here, but fundamentally and very broad framework of this subject must be always kept in our mind, that we have freedom. I can, as the Quran says, save a creature's, especially living creature's life. Try to save, of course, not the creating life, but choose to save a person's life. At the same time, the same person can kill a living being, a human being. Even as the Quran says, try to kill whole humanity. Some people may choose this. And all these really mass destructive weapons that the people try to develop more and more so that they can kill more people. This is called national defense. So human beings are free to do whatever they want and to interpret and try to justify what they choose. They are free to do that, but consequences will remain with them. And this world is an just a fleeting world, fleeting life. Everything demonstrates that nothing can sustain its existence for a second. Impossible. Everything is totally dependent on something else and their existence. But in the face of this reality of the universe, we human beings can really contradict this reality and prefer to choose something else because we may have ego-centered interests, just caprices. If a person can declare that a particle is acting as if it has a divine quality, of course, it is very likely and expected for this person to declare and claim that he has a divine power to do everything. Claim it. But of course, this is the result of freedom of choice. We have to appreciate that we are given the freedom of choice and use it, employ it in the right way, not ego-centered way, but if you like, truth, reality-centered way. Accept the reality of existence and submit to it. A long introduction. Oh, very boring introduction. I'm sorry for it. So let's read it. Let's read it. Now, I think this subject will come up again. Yeah.
By the way, I didn't think it was boring at all.
Thank you. Inshallah not. Inshallah. Let's. Okay.
Okay, we'll start with the fourth flash of the 22nd word. Look carefully at the multicolored, multifarious beings swimming in the seas of the heavens and scattered over the face of the earth. You will see that on each are inimitable signs of the pre-eternal Sun. Just as the stamps on life and seals on living beings are apparent, and we saw one or two of them, so are there such signatures on the giving of life. Since comparisons bring profound meanings closer to the understanding, we shall demonstrate this truth with a comparison.
Now, there is no need to talk much. I think the text is clear here. The author is going to show us the sign in the creation of everything which is alive. Look how a matter is given life. So the way it is realized, created, if you like, is an obvious sign that the things cannot have this quality by themselves, and they cannot develop this quality by themselves, nothing at all. It is just a blessing or favor the Creator has given these qualities to living beings. And he says he's going to give examples. We can read the examples if we don't have further comments.
Should I continue?
Yeah, we can read it.
Okay. For example, from the planets to droplets of water, to fragments of glass and sparkling snowflakes, the signature from the sun's image and reflection, a luminous work particular to the sun, is apparent. If you do not accept the tiny suns apparent in those innumerable things to be the manifestation of the sun's reflection, you have to accept the actual existence of a true natural sun in every droplet, and fragment of glass facing the light, and in every transparent speck before it, thus descending into the depths of lunacy.
Language is heavy, lunacy. Very heavy. Oh, you know, I understand that the author is very, very much motivated by the language of the Quran. Of course, when my creator speaks in a harsh language, hard to digest, I say it is the right of my creator. But if a person uses the same language, it is heavy to digest. So, but the author, I think, getting the courage from the way the Quran speaks in a harsh way about the people or about the attitude of the people who deny the reality, so obvious reality, with a blunt claim of denial it and come up with a ridiculous idea saying that as the example demonstrated for us here, this, every snowflake, it means every drop of water, every particle obviously demonstrates that all the qualities which are demonstrating on them in their existence cannot be really the result of this unconscious matter. But they deny the sun. They don't want to accept the sun. They say, look, I see some sparkles here, some lights reflecting in it. It must be from itself. So exactly this is the reflection of their understanding of their own being. These people I notice, and I'm sure you do as well, they are proud of their qualities. They don't admit, they don't want to admit, they don't prefer to admit their reality, saying that, look, I have been provided already with perfect human qualities, and I am a human being just because I am created in this way. No, they say, I exist, however it happened. Of course, this is the handicap of this materialistic approach. However it happened, but I have, I exist, and my existence is just happened to be. Of course, there is no explanation of it. They are making up lots of stories saying that in other universe, in other uh, billions of universes exist. Is there any evidence for it? No. They just speculate. Anyways, human beings are free. And we don't respect their ideas, but we respect the fact, the reality that they are created to choose whatever they want. So that's the choice of the one who created us. So we respect this reality that everybody has his or her own free choice. So they say, I am a knowledgeable person. This knowledge is my property, as if I created it. I created my mind, as if. These are my property. And I am using it and I am developing it as if I am creating the result of it, claiming that this is what I created. Of course, this person has to say, there is one option. Everything owns their own properties or the properties manifested on them. Because if I don't acknowledge that in my existence, all the qualities are manifested on me, and there must be a source of these qualities. They don't say, no, 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 source of these qualities. That is me, and I am, as I exist. That is their choice. We welcome their choices, but of course, they can choose whatever they want, but we never really subscribe to these ideas. So the example says, the sun is out there. You definitely, even you don't see the sun, you don't want to see the sun, at least you have to accept that the same light is manifested in innumerable creatures at the same time. And this light is continuously changed. What does it mean? Then we understand that, and like the mirror example, in the mirror, everybody has a mirror, not everything is a mirror, and the same light is manifested on them. When you examine the mirror, it is nothing but a glass. There is no light producing ability in the glass. Now, something else is manifesting its light in the glass of the mirror. So these people are so irrational, claiming that no, the glass is producing the light, producing the light, although there is no evidence. But it seems to be, of course, if you just look at a, the mirror and say that, I can see the light coming from the mirror. And that's it. Rather than saying something light producing thing is manifesting or reflecting its sign, it is light in the mirror, because glass cannot produce this light. And this light is really existing in each mirror in such a way that they will be interconnected with the rest of the whole universe, and every light altogether will make up a whole order of the universe, existence of the universe, perfectly and harmoniously working. There are two options. So if someone chooses this irrational option, saying that everything is the source of its own existence, everything is the source of the qualities seen, manifested on them, are produced by the thing itself, uh, of course, claiming the ability to know everything in the universe so that they will be working harmoniously with no clash with each other. Then the author gets angry. Are you lunatic, man? What do you think? And he says, don't you use your human quality? Anyways, that is what the harsh language is used. I mean, to draw the attention of the reader that this doesn't make sense at all. All right. Any further comment from our friends? Otherwise, we can continue. Yes. No comment. We can continue, inshallah.
Okay, I'm ready. Sorry. In just the same way there is such a signature on all living beings in regard to the giving of life from among the luminous manifestations of the pre-eternal Sun, that supposing all causes were gathered together and had the power to act and possessed will, they still could not imitate that signature. For living beings, all miracles of divine power are points of focus of the divine names, which are like the rays of the pre-eternal Sun. If that strange inscription of art, that wondrous ordering of wisdom, that manifestation of the mystery of oneness on living beings is not ascribed to the single and eternally besought one, it necessitates accepting that concealed within each living creature, and even in a fly or a flower, there is an infinite creative power, a knowledge encompassing all things, an absolute will with which to govern the universe, and even the eternal attributes particular to the necessarily existent one, thus falling to the most ludicrous degree of misguidance and I lost
Sorry, I confused it.
no, you need to go up a little bit. Okay.
No, I have made something, I think. Yep, yes. Now, this.
Okay, thus falling to the most ludicrous degree of misguidance and superstition. Quite simply, it necessitates attributing divinity to each particle of the flower or fly. For a state has been given to those particles, especially if they are in seeds, whereby they look to the living beings of which they are a part and take up a position in accordance with its systems in ordering. The particle is even in a position to look at all members of the species to which its living being belongs, or to fly with wings in order to be planted in a place suitable to the continuation of its species and to plant the species flag. In fact, it holds a position whereby that living beings' transactions with all other beings may be continued, and its relations with them connected with sustenance, for it is in need of all of them.
No. What is the core message of this long paragraph?
Actually, because the sentences are long, sometimes I lost the point.
Correct. I understand well, very well. Yeah.
I think where I got lost was where it says it necessitates accepting. If you don't, if we can even go a little bit earlier.
Even this?
Where I got lost was, I understand if that strange inscription of art, that wondrous ordering of wisdom, can you go back up just a little bit?
Up.
Yeah, stop. Okay, right there. If that strange inscription of art, that wondrous ordering of wisdom, that manifestation of the mystery of oneness of on living beings is not ascribed to the single and eternally besought one, it necessitates accepting that concealed within each living creature, and even in a fly or a flower is an infinite creature, creative power. I understand that, but then for a state that is given to these particles, I've lost after the underlined section. I've kind of got lost.
This one.
The next underlined section, that one. After that, I got lost. That part right there where it says for a
Ah,
state, that part.
now, rather than talking a lot, because I talked a lot today, can we read it here? Uh, Now, I think the word is, when I first reading this piece today, this morning, before coming to this discussion, this word for a state, position, maybe,
Hmm.
has been given to those particles. Maybe it is better to say position. Let's check. Then let's see
Okay.
position. Now, within the context of the whole universe, every being is given a position. Now, a particle is created in a particular position, especially if they are this, in seeds. Of course, we know that the cell of the seed where life springs from, and in this cell, the DNA of the cell includes in code all the codations, codes, knowledge. He will explain this in down somewhere there. I don't.
Oh, yes, I see. When you change that state position,
Hmm,
that very first state, when
sure.
you change that for a position, that helps tremendously.
Yeah, especially if they are in seeds. So
Now I understand. Now I understand.
yeah, uh, of course, after this, putting a particle in a certain position needs the requirement of the all interconnectedness of this particle with the rest of the particles, all the chains of interconnections of the rest of the particles, and it must know the whole structure of the. If we say that particle itself located in this particular position by itself, then we say, look, it must have the power, knowledge, as the sentence about it said, all divine attributes must be owned by this particular particle, so that divine means not knowing all things in the universe from the beginning to the end, so that it will be perfectly functioning there. I mean, let's say a big company, I don't know what is the biggest company in America, but let's say Amazon. That's what I see. I don't know. There must be even larger ones, but every person works, although they are conscious beings, in a position in the company. We understand that whatever the job they do, they don't really position themselves in that job, because they should know the whole structure of the Amazon company, or their all they are huge companies, so they may have many, many, many divisions, so that they have one position, and the employers, of course, the level from the very executive uh, executors of the company and the CEO of the company, all goes down, 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 down until, of course, it means uh, a person is employed in a particular position in the company as a result of the knowledge of the whole company, how it works, what functions, what purposes it has, how it will be working with no uh, confusions and chaos. These are must be organized by conscious beings, thousands of conscious human beings, so that one person will be employed in the right position. And then whole company should work perfectly. If I say, if I go by myself and employ myself in one of the branches of the Amazon company and start doing it by myself, whatever I wanted to do by myself. And let's assume that all the members of this company, I don't know, well, hundreds of thousands of people, I'm guessing, or at least tens of thousands, but I think hundreds of thousands of people. Everybody employs themselves in a place. What I have to say, either this company should collapse on the second day, if not first day. Chaos. Definitely, everybody will do according to themselves, their own desires. If the company is perfectly working, there are two options. One is the employer, the system of the company arranges everything, everybody's position, and assigns a certain duty, certain job to be fulfilled by each employees, Or if someone, a crazy man comes and says that you are working here because it is your own choice, it is your own capacity, it means you know, and the company is working perfectly. The order of the universe is perfectly continuing. This example of the company is example of the universe. We see no chaos in the universe. Even a single atom is not chaotic at all. So perfect. And this man said, oh, you decided to come and work here. It is your quality. What does it mean? This crazy man is claiming that this man knows every member of the employees in the company and engages with them, interacts with them, decides by itself that, look, I will do this job and let's not really cause any chaos and work harmoniously. Please do your job. The other one say, I will do this job. You do this job. All of them must have the quality to know how this huge company will perfectly work. There are two options. Either it is centrally organized, or every member knows this huge company, how it works, for what purpose it should work, and uh, got to or receive the result perfectly. It is two options, completely contradictory to each other, rejecting to each other. If one is true, the other one is completely trash. And we are free to choose which makes sense for us. This position is really important, as you said. Yeah. I also liked it. I, I feel that the case is clear now.
Oh, yes, it is.
Inshallah, if the brothers and sisters say the same, share the same feeling, that we continue, inshallah.
Okay, I'll continue. Thus, if that particle is not created and employed in its position by a possessor of absolute power, and if its relation with him is severed, it has to be ascribed to an eye which sees all things and a consciousness which encompasses all things.
Yeah, I think the original translation
Mhm.
is no, sorry, retrieve this word here, position. So it was the right choice there, rather than state. State makes,
Mm,
yeah. So I think we covered this paragraph as well. We
yes.
can go a bit further.
In short,
Mhm.
if the miniature suns in various colors in droplets of water and fragments of glass are not attributed to the sun's reflection and the manifestation of its reflection, one has to accept the existence of innumerable suns in place of the one sun. It necessitates accepting an utterly impossible superstition in exactly the same way. If everything is not attributed to the absolutely powerful one, it necessitates accepting infinite gods instead of the single absolute God. Indeed, gods to the number of particles in existence, thus falling to the degree of accepting a hundredfold impossibility.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to my example, whether it made sense to you or not, this example of the Amazon
About
company.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Mm,
Now, if someone doesn't accept that it is centrally organized and there is only one CEO of the company and it organizes the subdivision. It's human action. Human action. That's why we have to say it is central of, and there is one CEO. If someone doesn't want to accept this option, this person has to claim that every member of this company must have the quality of being a CEO of the company. Here you are. Which one is correct? That's what the summary reminded me this. There is no in between. Either one CEO or every member of this company is a CEO or has the quality of being a CEO. That is what these people claim, that the particles act by themselves, which is really, really, I feel now that I should use the same word, lunatic, to say this. There is no sign of it. Okay.
to sum up, excuse me, to sum up, from every particle, three windows open up onto the light of unity and necessary existence of the pre-eternal sun.
Now, pre-eternal sun, in my example, CEO, one CEO, or in reality, or in the example the author used, every sparkle of light reflected in the bright object points that this light is not from me. I have no quality to produce it. It is from the sun that reflects its light on everything else. So that this sun positioned me in this place where I am. That is what he says. Uh, Let's investigate even deeper level how this can be demonstrated. And the window, you understand the window, then you look,
Yes.
you are in a room. Of course, we are in the universe in a room, and window is the place opening up to the outside and seeing what is outside there, what is happening in the universe actually. Although time is up, but quickly, just because we didn't cover today as much,
Yeah.
First window, do you have time?
I can do first window.
Okay, only first window. Yeah.
Okay. First window. A soldier has a relation with each of the spheres of the military. That is, with his squad, his company, his battalion, his regiment, his division, and the army, in duties in accordance with those relations, and actions in accordance with the duties in army regulations. Particles have similar relations.
Yeah, exactly. The example I made up was an example. The author gave us the example of the army and soldiers. Yeah, I think we covered
Yes.
it.
For example, a lifeless particle in the pupil of your eye has relations with your eye, your head, your body, your powers of your powers of reproduction and attraction and repulsion, with your veins and arteries, and motor and sensory nerves, and with the rest of the human race. And it has duties in relation to each. This shows self-evidently to eyes that are not blind that it is the work of art and charged official of the eternal, all-powerful one, and is under his regulation.
Yeah, exactly. I promise I'm not going to speak a lot. Just to point out this one. This shows self-evidently to the eyes that are not blind. Ah, not created blind because I closed my eyelids. I don't want to see it because I'm self-centered person. So I am the CEO of my life and my existence. I am the creator of my existence. And this blinds me completely and makes the creation out there and leads me to interpret the creation out there according to how I defined myself. Inshallah, we will continue the windows, several examples, to make clear that our heart is comfortable, that we are believing in something unseen. That is hard. I mean, belief in unseen needs a very, very satisfactory, strong evidence. That is why author is trying to give more and more evidence to establish the confidence in our conclusions in belief in ghaib. Thank you. Any more comments from our friends here? Anyone? Okay, shall we close today's session?
Yes.
Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.